Hey there, sports fans. How are we doing? I'm alright, thank you. Another round of Betfred Super League 2025 is upon us, round 18, which means we're now less than 9 rounds till the end, which is sad for me. I ate that winter period with no rugger, but of course we have got the Ashes, so that's something to look forward to. Straight up off the bat, this is where I normally promote Spotify, Twitter, X. But instead I'm going to say thank you for the feedback, get some feedback on microphone issues on Spotify itself. So the microphone, I don't know, I'm just glad it's working at the minute. The channels, mono, stereo, I don't know. I'm just a sports fan, baby. I'll figure it out at some point. But for now, I guess you only have to wear one of your headphones, probably the right one, if you're listening on earbuds. Spotify, I'm going to check that out. Make sure all those lovely episodes get put back up. Not that anyone's going to be bothered going back and listening to them, but I'll put them up anyway. How about that? So this one, you know what? Yeah, test it out. Call my bluff. Head over to Spotify and listen to this bloody show over there. All right. Round 18 of the 2025 Betfred Super League. Let's take a look at the fixtures. There's some good-looking fixtures there. Thursday night, opening up Hull FC Wakefield, Wigan versus Huddersfield, Leeds versus Saints on Friday. A weird kind of grudge match day on Friday, isn't it? Lee, Hull KR, Catalans Warrington, Salford Castleford, and all whilst I've got terrible hay fever. Just, for your information, there's nothing I can do about that. Not only is it making me sniffle a lot, it's also basically welded my eyes shut. So enjoy that. So if we look at where everything sits, there's a couple of compelling fixtures in terms of like the impact on the season. So obviously Hull Wakefield, that's kind of a settler, isn't it? Again. Wigan Huddersfield, nothing significant is going to come out of that other than someone's pride can get hurt, but fine, I'm here for that. Leeds Saints, but always a good one this season, isn't it? Leeds versus Saints. Lee, Hull KR, bloody hell, and Catalans Warrington, Salford Castleford. So they're close on the table though, so there should be reasonable matches. Let's see what I think of each of them individually. So Friday night, Hull FC versus Trin. I'm excited for this one. These are two teams that I'm really enjoying watching this season for opposite reasons. So Hull FC is the wall, like I've said, just really, really solid shape on Hull FC. Wakefield just continue to surprise everyone with how cohesive they are in attack. Obviously against Wigan as well, they did show some real mettle in defence, so they're not just a one-dimensional team, but really what I'm looking forward to is seeing that sort of the wakey wave crash up against the Hull FC shore, if you will. So let's see how that one goes. I think interesting points for me to look out for in this game. I think basically what they have to do is Jowett needs to link up with the wings. I sort of said last week that Jowett's kind of making a rod for his full back by being so good as a standoff at the minute, because he's really delivering the ball to the line and where it needs to be. He's doing a fantastic job in that number 6 position. So I think that he's obviously a one to watch. For me, I think Hull need to do what Hull have been doing and restricting people's meters. So for me, and I've said this before, Hull don't really need to spend loads of time up on your try line, because when they're there, they will convert they'll convert the opportunity. So that being said, for me, I think Wakefield are going to win 16-22. Your men to watch on the Wakefield side are Jowett, Rourke, and the hookers Hood and Smith. Smith, fantastic player, fantastic young player at the minute. I certainly wouldn't mind seeing him ending up with a red V on his chest. Hardacre, Caesar and the wingers for Hull FC, I think, are the important ones to watch. Hardacre's really showing up. Caesar obviously always shows up. And those wingers, the young lads, Harvey Barron, Lewis Murphy, doing a real number there as well. Yay. We got a bit of a weird grudge match here that no one ever thought would crop up this season. Wigan versus Huddersfield. So Huddersfield did, a few weeks ago, take Wigan absolutely to the line. They really did, and everyone was surprised and shocked, and it was sort of the start of Wigan's downfall, even though they won that game. Remember that for this, because as much as got made that match, Wigan did still win, by 2 points or whatever it was. Now, Lee showed last week against Wigan that if you want to beat them these days with their attack not quite firing on all cylinders, defence is your key, man. You just got to defend. So Huddersfield really have to defend. So I think for Huddersfield, it's the second rows, the middle pack, Tane, Mills and Greenwood. Lola here is hard to overlook here in this one as well. So I think recently Huds have been relying a lot on George Flanagan. I don't think he's going to do much this week. Happy to eat my words on that one. But Lola here, on the other hand, is a veteran. He's got a lot of experience behind him. Played Wigan an awful lot. So I think they're the ones to watch for Wigan. I mean, Wigan, you know who you are. The players you're watching for: Kieran, Wardle, those quick firing centres. Eckersley, who thinks on the wing now. 24-12 to Wigan, I think. I mean, as well as Huddersfield did in that match, they did lose it. Now look at the points difference. These points difference that I'm showing you now for the last 6 games, I think. The points difference is exactly opposite, which is weird. So Wigan a plus 90 on the last 6 games, Huddersfield a minus 90 on the last 6 games. So just bear that in mind, okay, as you go into this thinking Huddersfield can do it. They can, they absolutely can, but it's still unlikely. They still need to show up like an underdog at this one, not like the kind of equals, because, and let's be honest, 2 versus 11, they ain't equals, are they? Our parallel fixture on Friday is the Leeds versus Saints. The 3rd time this season, the rubber stamp on this trilogy this year. Saints have had a lot of trilogies close together as well this season, which is getting a bit weird. But this one, I think, no one really minds watching, same with the Warrington one. What I'm hoping for on this is to see the game that we thought we were going to get a few weeks ago when they played at the Totally Wicked. Because if you remember, cast your mind back to back then, Leeds just couldn't hold on to the ball, and it really got in the way of the game, if I'm honest. But that was a few weeks ago. This is the new Wigan, beat the champions, beat the number 1 this week. So they're going to show up with their chests all puffed up for this one. Whereas Saints have got it's a real good chance for Saints. There's not really anything to lose, because if they lose this, nothing really happens to them. I think they stay in 5th. Nobody's surprised. But if they win it, people need to start taking them seriously, don't they? Because they're taking Leeds seriously. And if Saints beat Leeds twice in a row, then we're talking. That being said, so if you just look at last week's performance, last week Leeds made over 1,500 metres, basically, against the number 1s at the minute, and kept them at bay, which was, fantastic. Saints, on the other hand, last week couldn't really convert against Hull FC. They had loads of opportunities and just couldn't quite pull the trigger. Ended up getting 13 points, 13 hard-won points, which is fine. The Leeds defence was a bit porous at the start of that game, so I guess you can kind of look at that. Be interesting to see what the strategy is here for Leeds I think Saints have only really got one gear at the minute, which is fine because it seems to be working. Leeds, I think, last time they were sort of putting up those rocket high kicks that were just hanging in the air for ages and ages. Are they going to do that again, or are they going to go for more of a sort of a marauding way that I keep talking about? that really fluid attack they've got. Are they going to go for that instead? I don't know. I think he wants to watch here for Saints. Lomax is starting to get into the season, which is mad because we're 18 rounds in. Siren are always good. Percival is back for Saints. And I put an asterisk there because either that is going to go really well for them, or he's going to try and make it the Mark Percival show a little bit and just run laterally the whole game and just get closed down. So no doubt Jake Connor and him are going to be having words at some point in the game. For Leeds, I think it's your big fellas, it's your Palacios, your Lassonis to wear out the Saints defence. And I've put Miller in there as a wild card because you can't take him off the table at the minute. He's either going to drop the ball a ton and give it to Saints, or he's going to pierce through and score loads of tries. So he's in there too. 16-18, I think Saints might pinch it. I don't know. I think this is what the stats tell me based on the last 6 games. I don't know how true it is, to be honest. This one could go either way. It's going to be a really good match. Saturday, Lee versus Hull KR, the Robins. This could fuck everything up for everyone. If Lee win this, then all of a sudden, basically everyone's back in contention, aren't they, for that number 1 spot? Hull KR are 4 points clear right now of Wigan. 7 points clear of Lee. But if they lose this, obviously, and Wigan playing Huddersfield, favourable matchup, that draws ever closer. Everyone gets back in the game, don't they? Now, I hope that doesn't happen because I really want Hull KR to do something to make a statement. That being said, last week Lee's defence was absolutely incredible. This is a bit like an expensive version of that first game, Wakefield versus Hull FC. It's two sides are a little bit higher standard than those two in general, not on their days. So we're about to see the Hull KR attack, the wave smash against the Lee. Sure, Lee, I've got a little bit more about him in attack, I think, than Hull FC have, but whatever. Challenge for KR this week is that Lewis is out because of that HIA on Sunday. So I think for me, the ones to watch in this match, Broadbent and May, are going to need to do something. Those two can link up in the most spectacular fashion. Bring Batchelor into the fold there as well. You've got yourself a real good attacking side. Lee, I think last week, Tessinu and Hanley were just too good to remove from the ones to watch list for Lee. Ipape is always on my ones to watch list. I'd watch him all day, night long. I think Hull KR are going to just do it. Lee can do it. I think the key for both teams is to, and it's going to sound obvious, but try to get as close to the try line as you can before you really start your attack. So try to chew up meters, because I think that the defence of both teams is too good and reactive to fall for midfield play. So most of these tries, I think, are going to come from right close to the try line. Both teams are very good at that. I think the problem with Hull KR is that Mikey Lewis is usually the driving force behind those. So we'll see how it goes. Who knows? Our Saturday evening fixture, is a bit of a question mark, to be honest. I'm probably not going to spend loads of time on this. It's anyone's guess. This is Catalans are basically out of this, aren't they? They can't win. They can't do anything this season. So they're just playing for pride. But there is a lot of pride to be had here for Catalans because they've been terrible this past couple of weeks. Really, breaking the worst records. Most time without scoring a point, most nils in a row, etc., etc. Now, Warrington aren't doing super well either, to be honest. But they are winning games, so they can squeak into the top 6 still. And it's games like this that they need to really focus on. Both teams are playing a bit strange. Both teams have got players out injured, so I don't really know how either team is going to play it. So this is just kind of a one, so let's just watch it, because both teams, if I'm honest, have lost their heads a little bit, so I don't know which players are going to show up. Last week I made some pretty bold predictions against Wakefield for Catalans, and none of those players showed up, so I'm not going to do anything like that for this. I think Warrington could win this by 10 points. They could win it by 60 points, though. This is the real question mark, this one. This is what the numbers are telling me might happen, so we'll see how it goes, eh? And here we go, that comfortable Sunday afternoon fixture where Salford find themselves yet again playing on Sunday in the sunshine, baby, over at the AJ Bell. And it's against Castleford. Salford can do this. All Salford need to win the season here is one more win, I think. All they need to do to not shut everybody up, but to really claim that pride that is already theirs, is one more win. And this could be it. They lost against Huddersfield last week, Castleford, and Salford put up a massive performance against Warrington. So they can do this. I think for this one for me, so interestingly, last week when I was watching that Warrington game, I keep thinking, what's going to happen to these players? They're going to be amazing players in the future, especially the young lads. And I thought, well, I tell you who I don't want, though. Nicarima. He just keeps leaving the ball. Like his head is gone. And then about 20 minutes in, he just absolutely started pulling everyone's strings and maybe being a general. So I'm actually going to point to ones to watch for Salford here, Nicarima and Chris Hill. I think Castleford, Atkins really trying to do something, isn't he? He's really trying to bring those forwards together, but they're just not firing. I haven't seen the injury list for Castleford this week, because it's on Sunday and I'm recording this earlier in the week, so that's not out yet, like the team sheet. But they need to do something, and they need to do something soon. I've got this at 16-28. I want Salford to get one more victory, and this is the best opportunity they've got. So fingers crossed this doesn't go that way. But for Castleford to get 28 points, they've really got to do something. And I'll be honest, they can't rely on the wings in this game. What they need to do, I think, is to really, really run it down the middle, try and tire those forwards out, because Salford have only really got two props. They haven't got an infinite bench, or they haven't even got a bench. So if you can knacker Chris Hill out, get him out of the game, I think you're in for a chance. That being said, I don't know. It's going to be this is just to stick it on and watch it, see what happens. And be honest, root for Salford. Unless you're a Cas fan, root for Salford on this one. You know you're already doing that. So there we have it. I've got winners: Wakefield, Wigan, Leeds. Oh, that's the other way around where it was for. Leeds, Hull KR, Warrington, and Castleford. Who are your winners, everyone? Let me know. Enjoy the game. Head over to Spotify, see if I actually pulled my finger out and got those episodes up. All right. So, enjoy the weekend. I'll be back. God, who knows when I'll be back. Next week at some point with my review and hopefully a 6 again. Thanks, guys. Enjoy.